Right. Same as usual, working at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort, as in joint pain. Muscular discomfort entirely up to you. If you need to stop and rest, stop and rest. If you can keep it going, keep it going. Making sure that you've got the usual props, so a pillow or a ball, and then a band or a strap, a belt to assist. So if you're seated, trying to find that nice lifted seated position, trying to create space underneath the rib cages, so see if I can create space to allow the diaphragm to be able to descend and ascend. So making sure that you're able to breathe properly, you're not compressing and preventing that easy breath. If you're lying down, just using the mat to help relax upon the head resting, the shoulders, the hips, the legs are straight or bent, the arms opening to the side, palms turn to face up and towards the ceiling, encouraging the front of the chest to relax completely. And then just focusing on the breath, see if you can find that nice relaxed belly breath, feeling the belly expanding every time you inhale, so the diaphragm descends, putting pressure into the abdominal cavity, so the belly pops out. And then as I exhale, everything relaxes back in. So I'm not trying to push the belly out consciously, I'm just going to let the breath do that. So softening through the front of the chest, relaxing the neck, at the front of the shoulders, collarbones, allowing the breath to drop, allowing the breath of the body to relax. And then doing the usual scan over the body, so noticing the pressure. If I'm seated, maybe the pressure under the seat bones, is it even? Does it feel as if I'm loading more weight on one than the other? Am I straight? Am I slightly leaning to one side? Is my head centered? Am I slightly turned to the side? Is it leaning off to one side? I'm not changing anything. I'm just trying to be aware of where the body is and how I feel at the moment. Then once that I feel a little bit more settled, the breath feels a little bit more relaxed, the body feels a little bit more relaxed, then I'm going to start focusing on the neck. I'm going to start turning the head gently from side to side. So just noticing the range of movement, noticing any stiffness, any tension. Each time maybe see if I can try to turn just a little bit more, but making sure that's not causing pain. If you're seated with the corner of your eye, check the shoulder, making sure that the shoulder is not going back with you. So you're not rotating from the rib cage, you're not rotating from the thoracic spine, you're just turning from the neck. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release it back. Bring the head back to the middle, so I know that when I turn to the right, I feel comfortable. When I turn to the left, it feels a little bit stiffer, or vice versa. I'm going to see if I can try and improve on both sides. I'm going to reach both hands, if I can, behind the head. So if I'm lying down, it should be quite easy, as I'm just cupping the back of the head into the hands. If I'm sitting up, if I find the two arms are too heavy, then I'm just going to use only one. I'm going to try and rest the hands or the fingers around the base of the skull. So I'm just kind of like wrapping them around at the bottom of the skull, the back of the head. And then I'm keeping the head lifted. I'm not going to turn the head, so the head stays in the middle. I'm just going to turn my eyes, look to the right. I'm going to hold the gaze to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep looking to the right. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to bring the eyes back to the center. I'm going to reset. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing, but looking left. So the head stays still. And then with the eyes, I'm just going to look to the left. Holding the gaze to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Keep looking left. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and back to the center. I'm going to release the arms down, relaxing the shoulders, and then I'm going to retest my cervical rotation. So keeping the shoulders nice and still, I'm going to turn to look over to the right, come back to the center, turn to the left, back to the center, right again, and then left. Hopefully there was a little improvement. I'm going to try one more time on each side. And then easing back to the middle. Returning the head back to the center. And then I'm just going to come down into the thoracic spine. Still working in rotation. So if you're lying down, it's easier to stick the arms forward, straight ahead. If I'm seated up, I'm just going to rest the hands across the front of the chest to begin with. And then just allowing the shoulders to drop, the chest to lift. I'm going to start rotating from side to side. Again, same as I did for the neck rotation. Noticing how far I can go to the right, how far I can rotate to the left. Just warming up the spine a little bit more. Nice big swing side to side if I'm laying down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, returning back to the center. Same as I did for the neck, I'm going to see if I can improve my range. I'm just going to reach the arms straight forward, straight ahead. I'm going to interlock the last 3 fingers, reach the index across the thumb, so I'm not going to be pointing a gun. I'm going to squeeze the elbows in, locking the arms nice and straight, dropping the shoulders. I'm going to turn to the right, making sure that both arms are kept straight. I'm going to stay to the right. I'm going to turn the head to look around that right shoulder. Now see if you can rotate a little bit more. Come back to the center, rotating left, making sure that the arms keep straight. I'm going to turn the head to look around the left shoulder. Now see if I can rotate a little bit more. Coming back to center, one more time on each side. So rotating to the right, making sure that the arms are nice and straight. Turning to look around the right shoulder. See if I can rotate a little bit more. Back to center, to the left. Keeping the arms straight, turning to look over the left shoulder. See if you can rotate more. And then coming back to the middle, releasing the arms. So relaxing the shoulders, crossing the hands onto the chest if I'm seated, sticking the arms straight ahead if I'm lying down. And then I'm just going to rotate side to side. So again, hopefully the movement will feel a little bit easier. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, releasing the upper back. There's just a little bit more movement through the thoracic spine. I'm going to see if I can focus on the lumbar. Instead of going in rotation, I'm going to go into flexion extension. So going to a little pelvic tilt. So if I'm laying down, I'm going to use the mat to guide me. I'm going to tilt the pelvis until my lower back is flat against the floor, and then I'm going to come back into neutral. If I'm sitting up, see if you can think of the movement coming from the bottom of the spine. So I'm going to tuck the pelvis under, I'm going to round the lower back, and then I'm going to try and come forward and lift. So imagine two strings, one at the front and one at the back. I'm going to pull the string at the front, the pubic bone is going to lift and the tailbone is going to drop. And then pulling the string at the back, the tailbone is going to lift, the pubic bone is going to drop. So rocking gently forward and back over the seat bones. See if I can try and loosen up through the lower back. Think of the belly scooping in as you tilt the pelvis back, and then ease in the scoop as I come forward again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back. So it's a little bit more movement down into the lumbar. I'm going to start focusing on the shoulder joint and then moving down onto the hip joint. So focusing on the right shoulder first, I'm going to start going into little circles. So with the right arm, I'm going to lift up and then circle around and then come back. Then I'm going to reverse that circle. So I'm going to go around the other way and then come back where I started. And then I'm going to reverse it again. So I'm going to go one circle going clockwise, one circle going anti-clockwise. And then I'm just going to decide how big or small the circle can be. So making sure that I'm not grinding, I'm not creating tension, I'm not forcing the movement. It feels smooth, it feels light, it feels relaxed. So notice which direction maybe feels better, which point around the circle might feel a bit stiff or maybe a little bit restricted. I'm just going to try and focus on that area, see if I can improve the movement as I go into that restricted spot. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the shoulder, I'm going to repeat the same thing with the left. So I'm going to start with a small circle. See if I can encourage the shoulder to move, the arm to move into the shoulder socket. Progressively see if I can make that circle bigger. But again, making sure that the movement is not causing me pain. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the arms. I'm going to repeat the same thing with the leg. So same as usual, if the leg feels a bit temperamental, I might just use the band to help me move the leg. I could use the hands if I want to, it's whatever it's easier. And then I'm just going to try and draw circles with my thigh bone. So what I want is for the top of the leg to circle around, so the movement is happening in the hip joint, in the hip socket. I'm going to try one circle going one way, and then one circle coming around the other way. So again, they could be small movements, they could be big movements, it's entirely up to you. If I'm seated, I'm a little bit more limited because my sit bones are resting on the chair. If I'm laying down, I've got a little bit more space to play with, so the circle can become bigger. Just making sure that it's not causing pain. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last time. And releasing down, relaxing the leg and releasing the hip. I'm going to repeat the same thing with the left side. So setting up the same position, the band goes behind the leg if I need a little support. And then with the thigh bone, I'm going to start drawing circles. So see if I can feel the movement in the hip joint. 1, 2, 3, making sure that I'm breathing, not holding my breath. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release it down. Relaxing the hip, releasing the legs, a little bit more movement into the hip joint. I'm going to try and work down the arm, working through the elbow joint this time. So I'm just going to, if I'm laying down, I'm going to reach the arms straight ahead. With the right hand, I'm going to bend the elbow and touch the left shoulder. With the left, I'm going to touch the right. So I'm going to go across one way, across the other, across one way, across the other. If I'm seated up, I'm going to do the same, keeping the arms to the front. It doesn't matter if they're not very high. I'm just going to bend and tap the opposite shoulder, bend and tap the other way. So crossing, crossing the other, crossing, and then crossing the other. So see if I can get the bend in the elbow joint and that little pronation, supination through the forearm too. So just a little bit more movement into the elbow, between the two bones of the forearm. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing down, relaxing the arms, releasing the shoulders, and then I'm just going to try and work the mobilizer through the wrist joint. So I'm going to interlock the fingers, and then nice and light through the fingers, I'm just going to start rolling the wrists. So I want you to be just gently massaging around the wrist joint. So I'm going to try and loosen it as much as I can. So I'm just going to go round and round. See if you can go around both ways. As one way feels easier, the other way feels really awkward somehow. It doesn't feel right. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the wrist is a little bit looser. What I want is to try and lengthen through the forearm muscle and try to open up through the wrist joint a little bit more. So I'm going to straighten up the right arm in front of me, and then with the left hand, I'm just going to grab hold of the palm in my right hand, and then I'm going to pull it down so that the fingers are pointing down towards the ground if I'm seated, towards your feet if you're standing up. Trying to maintain the right arm straight. See if you can create a little stretch that goes from the wrist up into the forearm. There shouldn't be pain. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the arm, releasing the wrist, straightening up the left arm. I'm going to grab hold of my palm with the right hand, and then I'm just going to try and pull it down. So see if I can create the same stretch through the wrist and the forearm of that left side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. We're releasing through the wrist, we're releasing through the arm. There's a little bit more movement all into the arm. I'm going to try and focus a little bit more onto the leg. Still working through the hip joint, but see if I can get the knee a little bit more involved too this time. So if you're laying down, you might need the support for the leg, so I might just put the band around the back of the leg. If I'm seated up, I might still need that support too. I'm going to focus on the right side. What I want is for the thigh bone to lift, so the hip to flex, and then as the thigh bone lifts, I'm going to try and pull the foot towards the bone. So I'm just going to try and flex the knee a little bit more. Then I'm going to relax, and then I'm going to put it down. Then again, I'm going to try and lift the thigh towards me. I'm going to try and flex the knee. I'm going to bring it back out, and then I'm going to drop it down. If I'm laying down, exactly the same. So I'm going to lift the thigh. I'm going to open the knee, and then I'm going to close it and come back down. So I'm going to lift the thigh, trying to open the back of the knee, close it, and then ease it down. So see if I can get some movement into the hip, but also movement into the knee joint a little bit more. Making sure that, again, there is no pain or discomfort, as in joint discomfort. Muscular discomfort is okay. So supporting it. If I feel that I need that support. And then easing back. 3, lifting the thigh. Opening and closing the knees. Coming down. 2. Opening and closing. Last time. And releasing the leg, relaxing the hip, releasing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing with the left side. So if I need the support, I'm going to feed the band behind with the left leg, and then I'm going to try the side. So I want the thigh to lift and the knee joint to move. So I'm going to lift, I'm going to try and close, open the back of the knee and relax. Lift, close, open the back of the knee and relax it. So whichever direction it's easier, whichever movement it's easier, I could, even if I'm seated, I could open and close the knee. It makes it a little bit harder as the leg becomes heavier. So it's just easier to close it and then open it again before putting it down. But see if you can create a little movement through the knee joint. So think of a little pendulum. Your shin bone is like a little pendulum that you're just letting move forward and back a little before you put the leg down again. 5. 4. There might be some clicking. Again, as far as there is no pain with the clicking, I'm going to keep it going. 3. 2. 1, and release and down. Relaxing the hip, but releasing the leg. This is a little bit more movement into the leg. What I want to focus on this time more is the foot. See if I can ease some of the stiffness and some of the tension of the foot, all of the foot, not just through the ankle, but also through the toes, the long bones of the feet, the metatarsals. So I'm going to, if I'm seated, I'm going to bring the right foot in a little bit more. So I'm just going to drag it in so that it's slightly under. And then from there, I'm just going to try and push up onto the ball of the foot, as if I was trying to point the foot, and then I'm going to drop down into the heel again. So I'm going to try and come up onto tiptoes, and then drop down again. If I'm lying down, exactly the same. So I'm just going to set the foot in a comfortable position. Then this time, instead of lifting the foot, see if you can think of rolling onto the ball of the foot, and then relax it back. Rolling onto the ball of the foot, and relax it back. Same as before, I might still need the band to give you a little movement, as rolling up onto the ball of the foot is still creating a little lift into the thigh, very little movement into the hip joint. 3. So see if I can be aware of the sole of the foot. So picturing the pressure, if I can't really feel the foot, if I can't really feel the pressure, see if I can picture the pressure changing. The heel lifts, the pressure moves towards the ball of the foot, and then as I release it, it comes back towards the heel. Last one. And release it back. Relaxing the foot, releasing the leg. I'm going to try the same thing with the left side. So setting the left leg in the same position. So if I'm seated, I'm going to try and drag the foot in just a little bit more so that it's underneath of the knee. And then from there, I'm going to try and roll up onto the ball of the foot. And then I'm going to press the heel down. So if I'm seated, it's a little bit easier, especially if I'm not aware of where the foot is or what the foot is doing, because I can look at the foot. So I can see the foot, I can picture the movement a little bit better. Unfortunately, lying down is a bit hard to be able to see the foot, so I will have to kind of like rely on imagination a little bit more. So just the picturing the foot moving up and down, the ball of the foot staying on the floor the whole time. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And releasing, relaxing the foot, releasing the leg. It's a little bit more movement through the ankle joint too. I'm going to see if I can start combining movements together. So this time focusing on opposite arm and leg. I'm going to work with my right leg and my left arm. Imagine a little string that crosses over from your left hand to your right knee. I'm going to start pulling the string up. I want the leg to come up with the arm. Then I'm going to ease it back down, and then I'm going to pull it again. Ease it back down, and then pull it again. So see if you can physically picture that string that joins the hand to the opposite side. I pull the string, the leg moves, I release the string, the leg comes down. I pull the string, the leg moves, I release the string, the leg comes down. And then same as usual, if I feel that the leg is just not responding, then I'm just going to give myself a little bit more of a feedback. So I'm just going to put the band around the leg, and then I'm going to try and see if I can actually get that physical connection that is going to help me create that movement, define the movement again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release, relaxing the leg, relaxing the arm. I'm going to try the same thing, but linking the string the other way. So from my right hand to my left leg to my left knee. So I'm going to pull the string, hold the leg to lift, and then release back. Pull it, let it lift, and release back. Pull it, let it lift, and release back. So exactly the same as I did for the foot earlier. See if I can just picture the movement in my head. So what I want is for the thigh to lift towards me. So for the foot to come away from the ground as the arm pulls on that string, as if I was trying to puck up my leg up and down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release, relaxing the leg, releasing the arm. And then I'm just going to allow the legs a little rest. I'm going to focus on the upper body still. I'm going to go for a little reach forward and back. So I'm going to start with my arms attacked by the side of the rib cage. So it doesn't matter if I'm lying down or sitting up. I'm going to bend the elbows, squeeze the elbows into the side of the rib cage, drop the shoulders. And then from there, I'm going to turn the right palm to face forward, and then I'm just going to drive the right hand straight towards the opposite wall if I'm seated, towards the ceiling if I'm lying down. Then I'm going to pull that hand up, the elbow in, and then turning that left palm forward, I'm going to push, and then I'm going to come back. Then I'm going to push with the right, come back, push with the left, come back, push with the right, come back, push with the left, come back, push with the right, push with the left. So similar to the stretch that you practiced before, so you can create a stretch through the wrist. This is I push forward with the arm. So imagine to be pushing something away from you. So there is a book on the table, there is a vase on the table, I'm trying to push it away from me. Then I come back, and then with the other arm, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to push it away, come back, push it away, come back, push it away, come back. And then once that I've got the little pushing movement going, see if you can try and do it a little bit quicker. So can I push and 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 push. So imagine your hands to be like feet walking up and down. See if I can try and let them walk a little bit quicker. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing through the wrist, relaxing through the forearms. I'm going to focus on the legs again. This time what I want is a little bit of an in and out. So I'm going to shuffle the feet and the knees nice and close together. And then what I want is for the knees to push away from each other and then come together again. Same as usual. Picture the movement again. Think of your thigh bones, not just moving outwards, but turning out and moving away from each other. So see if I can get picture that slight external rotation, the thigh bone turning slightly out to the side as they open away from each other, and then turning back in again as they come together. Using the hands to give me a little help, guide in the legs if I need a little bit of a guidance, or just focusing on the inside of the leg and the side of the hip working together to create that little opening and closing. 10. Squeezing the knees nice and close together. Opening again. 9. And then squeezing the knees nice and close together. 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing, relaxing the hips, releasing the legs, releasing the inner thigh. And then I'm just going to change the effort. What I want is a little bit more connections with the inside of the leg. So I'm just going to grab a hold of the ball of the cushion, and then I'm going to set it between the knees, between the inner thighs. And then from there, I'm just going to focus on squeezing the knees into the cushion, into the ball. So I'm going to press in as if I was trying to pop the ball, and then I'm just going to relax. Then again, I'm going to press in as if I was trying to pop it and relax. So a little bit more aware of the tension on the inner thigh. So a little bit more aware of the tension at the front of the belly, helping me to stabilize the movement. Again, using the hands to give me a little help if I need to, as in guidance, and then coming back out again. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, we're going to hold the tension. Now, as you're holding the tension, give me little pulses. So I'm going to squeeze and 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 squeeze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, and relax. Releasing the inner thighs, relaxing the hip, and then I'm going to do the same work but in reverse. So what I want is for the side of the hip to do a little bit more work. So I'm going to grab hold of the band or the strap. It doesn't matter if it's not elastic. If it's not elastic, just keep it a little bit looser, not too loose. I'm going to wrap the band around the knees. If you're lying down, I suggest that you just put a little knot or a little bar around it so that it's easier to undo, and you can just leave it there. If you're seated, you can hold it if you want to, or again, it's just easier to tie the knot so that the band is going to stay there. I don't need to worry about it, I don't need to do anything. And then from there, I'm going to push out into the band. So I'm going to try and push out as far as I can. And then I'm going to control back in again. So making sure that the band doesn't snap my legs back together. Then again, I'm going to push out as far as I can. And then I'm going to control back together. As you're doing so, even if you're lying down, you should be able to see at least the knees, the top of the knees, the top of the thighs, or the bottom of the thigh. So as you're opening, as you're pushing out into the band, see if you can be aware of how much the right and how much the left leg is moving. Are they moving the same, or does it feel as if one is moving more than the other? If one is moving more than the other, can I focus on the one that is not moving as much? Can I try and get a better movement in that one? Can I maybe use my hand to help me go in a little bit deeper, to get a little bit further with that side of that leg? 4, 3, 2, and then last one, I'm going to hold it out. This time pushing out as far as you can. Hold that tension. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See if you can push out a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See if you can push out a little bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And release it back. Relaxing the legs and doing the knot on the band. Get rid of the band. Push it to one side. And then I'm going to finish off with just focusing on the upper body, the arm and the back. So if you're lying down, I want you to roll over onto the side. So we're going to set up into like an opening and closing doors, but we're not open and close. We're going to circle. We're going to go into arm circle. So the bottom arm, I'm going to pull it right through so that the back of my shoulder is on the floor. The head resting on the mat or supporting it with a little towel or a block if I need to. Same as we practiced earlier. I'm going to go into that circle, but this time instead of just circling the arm in front of me, I'm going to try and use as much space as possible. So I'm going to try and go round into the biggest circle I possibly can, and then I'm going to reverse the circle and come back. If I'm seated, exactly the same. So I'm going to start with my right arm. I'm going to circle around. I'm going to try and turn so that my circle gets bigger. Come back to the front. Then I'm going to turn, reverse the circle, and come back. Then again, I'm going to circle around, turn back to the front, and then circle around, and then coming back in reverse. 4. And reverse. So little movement, big movement, just to see if you can get the back of the arm involved together into the movement. Last one. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. I'm going to try the same thing with the other side. So if you're lying down, going over onto the other side, you're switching yourself over, same position. The knees are together, bottom arm reaching through, so you're resting on the back of the shoulder. And then I'm just going to go for the circle with the other side. So I'm going to try and lift to the left arm. If I'm seated, I'm going to circle around the side as far as I can, come back to the front, and then I'm going to reverse. I'm going to turn and circle around, come back. Then again, I'm going to reverse that circle, going back, and then reverse it all the way back to the front again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, releasing the back. If you're on your side, you're slowly pushing yourself up into sitting, finding your comfortable seated position. So same as usual, leaning against the wall or sofa, something that is going to offer a little support behind. If I need that support, finding the seat bones, see if I can really clamp the seat bones down onto the chair, down onto the mat. Lifting the chest and giving that space at the front of the belly to allow the breath, and then focusing on the back. I'm going to start extending. So I'm going to push the chest forward. I'm going to exaggerate the lift, throw the shoulders back, and then looking forward, looking up, looking back as far as I can. And then I'm going to ease my way forward, tucking the chin in, rounding the shoulders, rounding the upper back, the lower back if I feel comfortable doing so. And then reversing, the hips go up, lower back, rib cage, pushing the chest forward, throwing the shoulders back and down, so if I can really open up as much as I can at the front. And then release and coming forward, rounding the shoulders, rolling your way down. Last time, extending up, and trying to create as much space as you can in the front of the body. And then releasing back. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a drop of that. Any question or anything, please say. Remember, you need to unmute yourself.